back!
We're back! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cavalry!
Welcome to the Cavalry. It is great to be here. Thank you for listening, as always. I am in full recovery mode. It was my brother's bachelor party last weekend.
Oh, let's hear about
In
it.
Scottsdale, Arizona. And when you're at a bachelor party and everybody is either 5 or more years younger than you, it's a problem. It is a big. The 5 years is a big difference in keeping up with drinking.
Yes, I
could not
agree.
do it. But the funny, there's I guess a lot of stories, but a funny story is that flying down there, I was on a plane, and we've talked about before how I think I just exude this sort of don't talk to me energy, or some sort of like
What, on the plane to strangers?
yeah, or to anyone
Okay.
at all times, to family members, to you. I just give. I don't know what it is. I just give off a not here to make friends sort of vibe. So I sit down on the plane, and I'm on the aisle seat, of course. And
Because you're so others
because I'm a
centered.
great person. Because I'm a
Yep.
great person. And then there's a woman, either my age, maybe a couple years older, in the window seat. And then this young girl, probably in her teen, like 15, 14 years old, sits down in the middle seat. And she immediately starts crying. And I
Oh,
was like,
fun.
oh, okay, So I'm just like sitting there staring straight ahead. But so is the woman, on the window seat. And
Like
then-
audibly crying? Is she on the phone?
No,
or she's just
I don't.
crying?
I didn't even really notice. Right, it was just kind of like the shaking shoulders and head down, very sad.
No. Okay.
And then the flight attendant comes by with a vomit bag, or
Yeah, the puke
that's what they're
bag.
called. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't come with vomit in them. They're like in case.
Right.
And
You fill them yourself.
yeah, and gives it to the girl, and I was like, well, I don't think that's her problem. She's sad. She's not sick, like this flight attendant's an idiot. But apparently that was, maybe she had requested that on the way in. I don't know. But then, so
There's a girl crying in the middle of row 6. Get her a puke bag. See if she's used to puke.
Sorry for your loss. Here's a trash bag in case you got to hurl. Well, which interesting. So then it comes out. So then the flight attendant, while the girl is sort of got her head down on the seat in front of her, she goes to the woman on the window seat. She's like, "Hey, would you mind talking with her? She's having a rough time." And like
The
and
stewardess
she's like
said
a little
that to the
kid.
person at the window?
Yes. And
Oh
to console
my
her,
God.
comfort her.
Why did she skip over you?
That's what I'm saying. What was it about me? I was sitting right there. She had to reach over me to talk to the woman in the window seat, because she's like, this guy doesn't have the emotional capacity to comfort a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, she was 4. That'd be funny
Or
if she
15,
taps
I don't know.
you and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, can you tap that woman for me? I need to ask
It would have
her."
been worse if it was like someone in front. Like, I'm right
Would you
here.
mind turning around? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So she was 14. Okay. So then what happened?
So then it comes out that her grandma had died, and she was very sad about that, and so she might puke. No, I
Sure.
don't know. She never threw up, but then the woman and that girl had like a conversation the entire flight to Arizona, and I just was like, had my headphones in watching Game of Thrones or whatever, and I was like, every once in a while I take my headphones up, like, do I need to chime in? They're like having some heavy conversation about anxiety and depression, and it's like, oh, we're all good here? Okay.
Back to my life.
Back to my life. So
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is. I'm putting something out in the world that I need to change. I need to.
No, I don't think so.
Well, in that situation,
that sounds pretty sweet to me.
I wasn't eager to, but I did want to. I wanted to have the ability.
Yeah, you want to be
Make
thought
it
of
feel
as
better.
someone that could do that to.
Right.
You just don't want it to happen to you.
Not at my current skill level, I would say.
I see. Yeah. What would you do if she did do that? She's like, "Excuse me, sir. Hey, this girl's having a hard time. Would you mind spending the entire flight comforting her?"
Be like, have you seen Game of Thrones?
Here, let's watch this together to get your mind off your grandma.
Yeah, this doesn't make you think of death or horrible events.
Here, put this dirty earbud in your ear.
Oh my god. I was just thinking oh, we could share earbuds with oh my god, that would make her puke. I have the waxiest ear, by the way. It's so bad. I don't want to, we don't like to talk about gross things on this show, but
are your earbuds just stained yellow?
Just and I clean them because I have to. They literally wouldn't.
Let me ask you this: do you clean them with your earbuds?
Yeah, just kind of. I rub them together like I'm trying to start a fire in the woods.
Oh God.
No, it's bad. And then, but I see some people are like, somebody was telling me about how they had to stop using Q-tips because they were damaging their ears. And I was like, yeah, I know all about that. Every doctor will say never put anything in your ears, ever. But then they're like, but now I use this water thing, and I'm like, I think you're just supposed to not do anything to it. But then I can't really say that because I have really waxy ears. So
yeah, Q-tips are the weirdest invention because Q-tips, they say, oh, don't ever put a Q-tip in your ear. Doesn't everyone just think, well, that's like saying don't put a tissue on your nose? That's what it's for.
Yeah, and then everyone kind of it's that trust in the American brand or whatever, because you're just sort of well, if it was really that bad, they just wouldn't be allowed to sell Q-tips. Right? It's oh yeah, sure, the doctors say that, but I still see Q-tips everywhere, so clearly it's not a problem.
They should just say if you're going to use a Q-tip, just make sure you're not next to a door, because I have this fear of just a door being opened and shoving the Q-tip into your brain. Wouldn't that just suck?
Just imagine you just sprinting from the other side of the room as someone's pulling a Q-tip out near a door and just tackling them through a plate glass window. Dude, I just saved your life.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's your fear?
Because everyone says, why don't ever put a Q-tip in your ear? I'm like, why? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, it could get shoved in somehow. And the only way that would happen is if someone opened a door because you can't see through it and you're cleaning your ear and all of a sudden,
I guess, but isn't you're your shoulder would be in the way, right? How would a door hit you in the ear? You have to be maybe if you're listening at the door, you were a real gossip, and you're like, ooh, what are they saying about me? And cleaning your ear at the same time. You can't hear well enough, so you're cleaning your ear out.
Yeah.
And then the door
I don't know.
No, I think it's not if it gets lodged in there. They just say anything, and you can do little damage at a time sticking anything in your ear.
Yeah, but they sell these corkscrew looking plastic things, and this is how you clean your ear, and you kind of screwdriver all this shit out of your ear.
Hey, let's get
the stuff they show on those commercials makes you want to puke.
I know. Let's get an expert on. We'll get an ENT.
Yeah.
ENT.
But think about it. There had to have been someone in the history of life that has had a door opened and a Q-tip shoved into their brain, right?
Let's get that person on.
I don't think they made it.
No, that's death sentence. I remember worrying about a pencil up your nose going into your brain. I don't know if it was an action movie or something where you could get something shoved up your nose and it would kill you by going up into your brain.
That's why I spaz out when my kids run around with holding pencils and pens. Yes, I'm always just
Ginger loves pens and crayons. I mean, crayons aren't as hard, but still. And she just won't let you take them from her. So I did everything I could do.
So yeah, you asked politely, and the child didn't follow your instructions. What
Yeah.
can you do?
Oh, I know. You know what? What I'm probably thinking about with the nose thing. There's a. Have you seen Con Air? There's a Nicolas Cage movie,
Yeah,
and he takes the heel of his hand and he shoves it under the guy's nose, and he breaks his nose in such a way that the bone goes up into his brain and kills the
and
guy.
kills him.
Yeah,
Wait, is that what he goes to prison for?
that's
Like
why he
when he's
goes
in
to
that
prison
fight?
because
Oh
those
yeah,
guys
yeah.
were attacking his wife, but
That's right.
he's an army ranger, and so then the judge says, "Yeah, you were defending your wife, but you should
You're a
have
lethal
known."
weapon.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're too cool. You need to go to prison. The coolest guy ever.
It's like the Dark Knight when the Joker makes the pen. He's like, "You want to see a
Oh
magic trick?" And
yeah.
he slams the guy's head on a pen.
Now I think that it's supposed to go in his eye,
But
right?
that's what I mean. It goes
Yeah.
through his ocular cavity and
Yeah, yeah,
kills
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But that's
Those
what I
are
mean.
all
Like that's my fear with the kids running around.
Yes.
Like, oh Jesus
that the
Christ.
Joker will come.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go in the bathroom and say, "Did you ever hear that?" Like the Candyman and Bloody Mary when you were growing
Oh
up.
my god, the Candyman thing! I almost died because we watched that movie somehow.
What, the new one or the original
The
old
old
one?
one when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
Yeah.
At my friend Christopher Chandler's house, I remember.
Yeah.
And my brother locked me in the bathroom with the lights off
Yeah.
and wouldn't let me out until I said Candyman, like whatever it was,
Yeah,
3
five times or something.
5 times in the mirror, and I was
Oh
just
my God.
screaming. Oh my god, that was
Were you
like
terrified?
terrified.
How old do you
Terrified.
think you were?
I don't know, probably like 7 or 8 years old, maybe.
Oh my
Maybe older, maybe
God.
9 or 10. I mean, it was whatever. It doesn't matter how young. It was definitely way too young to have seen Candyman.
Yeah.
And I just remember the bees. Like he had like bees on
Yeah.
his face or something. Something about bees.
Yeah, because I always heard, like, I saw that movie, but like we had heard it was like Bloody Mary. You say Bloody Mary,
Right.
and then something happens. But like I heard my kids, and they're 8 and 9, and they were saying something about like, you go in the bathroom and you say blue bubble 5 times. And I'm like, what? Blue bubble? That's what this myth telephoned into? Blue bubble?
Oh, that's like the delightful look. They're having like the most innocent childhood. Blue
Like
bubble.
the blue character from Inside Out is going to
And then
appear.
a guy comes and
Go
gives
hug.
you bubble gum.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
How
Oh,
was
I
your
know.
weekend?
I went to. I don't think I did anything this weekend, but yesterday I went to Ryan Adams, and I drove to Milwaukee, saw a Ryan Adams concert. It was so fantastic.
By
I met
yourself?
just by himself.
No, you.
Oh no, by myself.
yourself.
No. I met my old college roommate.
Oh, okay.
We've seen Ryan Adams, I think, twice before together. So this is our third time we met there. He lives in Chicago, and it was great. He played 3 hours,
Okay.
just him.
What is one Ryan Adams song that you think I'd know?
I don't know. I mean, his album Gold had some hits like New York, Firecracker, Rescue Blues. I don't know. I mean, maybe you'd hear him if you
I'd have to hear the. I'd have to
But he
hear you
never-
play it. I'd have to hear you play it on the
hear me
guitar.
play it on an electric keyboard.
Yeah, whatever.
I did try to learn one of the songs on guitar, but I forgot it. But yeah, it was good. But like, it was just that thing where like we were at the Pabst Theater, which is like probably 1,200 seater in Milwaukee, and it's a theater, but it's intimate enough because it's got 2 balconies, so it's kind of like a tube that goes up high,
Yeah.
and so it's very intimate, and just like I don't know if it's Ryan Adams like draws crowds of just douchebag frat boy assholes. But they're just yelling. They just love to hear themselves in a crowd, and it's so fucking obnoxious. Oh my god!
Is he Canadian? Ryan Adams Canadian? Feels like he's Canadian.
No, I think
Oh,
Brian Adams is Canadian
oh that's
for
close.
some reason. Yeah, that's what you're thinking of.
Uh oh wait, I so I you'll enjoy this. So
Yes.
I during the bachelor party, the Mariners were in the playoffs. Seattle Mariners. This is more
Hmm.
baseball talk.
Yeah,
Terminal,
of course. Our
of course.
favorite.
We have to have baseball talk. And first time in 21 years. So it's like we got to watch the game. There's one game on during the time that we're there that we can watch. So we uh, watch it. It it's 0-0 the whole
Okay.
game. It remains 0-0 going into the 10th, the 11th, the 12th. 0-0 for 18 innings. 18. We watched 18 innings
Of
of
nothing
no
happening.
one scoring a run, and then the Astros scored one run. The guy hit a home run, and then we lost. So we
You hit a
spent
home run?
yeah, but then we
Do
had
they
to
do
come
that
up.
thing where they start someone on second? Is that a thing
No,
we've
they don't
talked
do
about?
that. They don't do that in the playoffs. They go like old school rules in the for the playoffs. So
So
yeah,
they changed the rules based on the importance of the game?
yes. Well, like the whole second base thing was like all like weird COVID. They're like, oh, because of COVID, we have to make these games end faster, as if that has anything to do with anything. But uh, so then that's the justification. So then like when they get to the playoffs, it's more pure. You know, it's like this is the way the game's supposed to
Oh
be
my
played. Sort of
god.
thing. But can you believe that 18? We missed like there was like shit we were gonna go do and stuff, and we're like, we gotta watch this, and then you're pot committed. But it was so sad because even like the Mariner fans in the room, and there's a lot of people from Seattle there, they
Yeah.
were like, after like at first you're into it, you're like, all right, yeah, we're gonna win this thing. By the like 14th, 15th inning, people were just like peeling off, going into the other rooms, just not even watching anymore.
Like don't
Like
even
it's
care
at
anymore.
some point it just breaks. It's so much tension, it just breaks your. You're like, I just don't want to be. I can't watch this.
Oh my god.
It's awful.
That's how I would have been at like the second inning. Ah, is this still baseball? I can't watch this.
And then we went from that to Mark, my brother. He really wanted to go to like a sporting event. That was like his big request, and there was
Yeah.
nothing going on.
Is he the one that got married or get married?
He's the one getting married, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so there's nothing going on, and so the only thing in town, my older brother, found it is the Professional Bull Riding Association. So we took him to a bull riding this thing, and it was great. It was
Was it?
fantastic. Oh yeah, they had the rodeo clowns, and then the guy, getting thrown off the bull, and then the horse coming around to corral it. It was amazing. Highly
Oh.
recommend. And then they had like pyrotechnics. I mean, they really make it like it's like in an arena, So they try to like. There's
Well, they got to
loud
do
music.
something. I mean, you're just watching a guy on a bull.
I know, and it really smells like shit in there. Like that's the thing. The first thing you notice, you walk in because you're going into this big, new, clean, fresh-looking arena, and then it just hits you immediately. Like, oh, there is a lot of cow shit in here.
How many animals are in there?
Well, there's at least like 3 or 4 bulls. I don't know how many bulls they go through, and then there's a horse.
I mean, couldn't they just like assign one person to each animal to be like, hey, when it shits, get it out of here? you know?
Can someone pick this up, please? And they're there all
I
weekend.
mean, there's
so
5 animals and they've
Yeah.
smelled up a whole arena?
Look, no one will ever accuse us of being a couple of cowboys, okay? So I don't know the intricacies of cleaning up the cow shit. But it does smell. Okay, just know that going in if you go to the professional bull riding thing. And they make it
Right.
like teams. So it's like you're rooting for it was like Arizona versus Texas when we finally showed up because we were watching 18 innings of.
So it's like medieval times.
Yeah, kind of. I've never been to medieval times.
Me
You've been to
neither.
No?
Sounds like, I mean, I bet it'd be fun to do once.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'll fly to Wisconsin. We'll go to medieval times. I'll fly home.
I wonder where the closest one is. Anyway. So what was the vibe of the bachelor party? Was it like traditional,
No strippers, no strip club. But I will say it was like all the we went to like a really fancy steakhouse.
Oh,
Those
nice.
guys, a lot of them are his college buddies, so it's like they immediately reverted back to the college style of partying, where it's like
Yeah.
cheap beers, starting at like 10 a.m. You know,
Yeah.
drinking again early in the morning to like get rid of the hangover, which is like a kind of style of drinking I have not done in a long time. So I was like very, I'm more like the
Well,
craft brew
so
guy,
did
and then
you?
like a glass of
Yeah.
wine or something. No shots. Like I never take a shot anymore. They're doing shots and stuff, and
So did you at this or no?
yeah, I mean, of course, gotta
Yeah.
be I'm a go along guy. And then his buddy John is like he owns like bars and restaurants down there. He actually owns two of the places beneath Stir Crazy Comedy Club.
Oh, okay.
In Glendale.
Yeah.
Do you do that one? You do that one, right?
I've been there. Yeah, I've done it. I've done it one time.
So he knows everybody in the city. So no matter where we went, he like knew the servers and the hostess and was ordering like giant things. And then we went to his places, and they're like kind of like nightclubs, which again I have not been in a nightclub probably in 15 years.
Yeah.
And then they have like bottle service, and it's all that kind of shit. But it's hilarious because I'm sure it was all very expensive, but then it's all like this is like such a desirable thing. But then when you really look at it, it's like here's a carafe of cranberry juice, and here's like a thing of vodka, and here's a thing of tequila. And I was like, if I were at home and you had that in the kitchen, I wouldn't even think about it. Yeah, let me have a glass of vodka. You're like, nah, I'm good. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was very fun. I think he had a great time. So success. But I was hurting. Oh my God, I was hurting by the end of the weekend. Hungover every day, hungover. And then the cumulative hangover by the third day. And these guys taught me about these hydration packs or something. They like buy these like powders, and you put them in water. It's supposed to like extra hydrate you to help you with hangovers. And they taste like awful, but I thought they worked. So
how do you know it's not a placebo effect?
I don't know. But
I'm very hesitant of that stuff.
I
mean, even if it does work, hey, if you think it works, then it works.
Yeah. Well, see, there you go.
There you
go. So that was it. It was fun. Scottsdale's quite the scene. Also, they went golfing. I'm not a golfer, but they went golfing. How much do you think? You're not a golfer either, I know this, but how much do you think for like a nice course just to golf one round of golf?
Like, does it cost? Like, are you paying for the group or each person pay?
No, just one person
to play 18 holes.
18 holes
on a nice course. I'm guessing $120.
$300. These guys paid.
Wow. Each person? Did you? And you didn't go?
I didn't go. No way. It would have been so embarrassing.
Oh man, that's so much money. Did they have to bring clubs? Fly with clubs?
One of them, at least a couple of them did. My older brother went, and he did not. I think he rented clubs, which is like another $80 or something. And then I was like, can't you just borrow whoever's clubs you're golfing with? And they were like, no, they have rules against that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, me neither. Not a golfer.
Interesting. Hey, so for pre-show banter, I have a discussion point or something to. This is rather morbid, but very interesting.
Ooh. Okay.
So I mentioned a while ago. Did I mention it that someone in Madison killed themselves by stepping in front of a semi on the Beltline?
Now that I can safely say, I do not think you mentioned. Unless
I think I have.
No way.
I'm confident.
I would be so bad at this if I did not remember that.
Oh well, whatever. Okay, maybe I thought about bringing it up.
Check the tape. There is no way.
Yeah, maybe it was in my head and I just didn't say it. But I found out.
If someone knows that you said that and I don't remember it, I should have to retire. That's really bad. Okay, go ahead.
So this is a very sad story, but it ends with an observation. So someone the traffic was all backed up and it was like, oh, it turns out yes, some guy got out of his car in the shoulder and walked in front of a semi and killed himself. Well, turns out he had my wife goes to yoga, and one of the people in her class was this woman, and he, the guy, that was his wife. He killed her. He stabbed her, and then he killed himself. And I think it was like he had a mental, I don't know, but anyways, very sad. They have two kids, awful. Anyway, so I'm a runner. I run at night.
Case of the Mondays, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I noticed when I run, because I run, at night and even not, but like cars, when I'm running, cars will, since that happened, because it was a big news story. I mean, I've read articles and it was on, whatever, because it was like the perfect family. They both have great jobs, great kids. No one had any idea anything was going on, and then all of a sudden it's a murder suicide. So it was like a news story. But I've noticed that cars, since that happened, cars will slow down and go out of their way to go on the way other side of the road when they are running by me on the road. And I've made the connection. I'm like, drivers are like, yeah, you're not going to ruin my day by jumping in front of my car. Oh my gosh.
That is very funny. Also, maybe it's because the way you run, you look so miserable. They're like, oh, this guy looks like he's trying to end it.
Yeah, either I look so miserable or I'm just so uncoordinated that my running looks like I might dart in front of him. He's indecisive. Look at that. Oh no, he just has a weird gait.
Maybe we're rushing to call this other guy's thing a suicide too quickly. Maybe he just went for a jog after killing his wife, and
he was just like, fuck this.
Maybe the semi mowed him over, and the semi was like, oh yeah, he jumped right in front of me.
Yeah,
that's funny too. Like if you're gonna like kill yourself, you don't hear about that one very often. You hear jumping off a bridge,
gun,
your car in the garage.
Yeah,
gun is probably the number one for sure. But like, it's just hilarious when people pick. It's like jumping off the Empire State Building. Like you don't have to go to the top floor. Like you could go up like 20 floors. That would
go up 4 probably.
Yeah, that would probably get the job done. But like, it's kind of like overkill. It's like you could have just jumped in front of an SUV or a car on a highway. It would probably kill you. But he's like, I'm going the semi truck. You know what I mean?
Well, here's a detail. Apparently, that was his second attempt. Like earlier earlier in the day, he tried the same way. He got clipped, like hit on the arm. Got in his car, drove up a ways, and then he got out and did it again. I don't know how people would know that. What?
Or was it also a semi that he tried
I don't know.
the first time? Oh. Because I was thinking maybe that's what it was. Maybe he tried a Camry. He's like, that doesn't have the horsepower to...
But that's so, I mean, as morbid as it is, that is so selfish. Like, that poor truck driver. I mean, hopefully they are able to be like, what, that is nothing to do with me. That's not but I mean, that's just traumatizing.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get out of your head. Although, in a weird way, maybe it helps knowing like this guy, the guy you killed. I mean, the truck driver didn't kill him, but like,
right,
the guy you ran over with your truck also murdered his wife. So like in a way, you avenged her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The whole jumping off a building. This is such a dark episode, but jumping off a bit, like I feel like, if I was going to do it, like, yeah, that'd be a fun way, but like I've had enough dreams. Like that's the worst way to wake up. Like it's the most relieving way to wake up is like, I was literally falling off a building and it was so real. to do it in
Yeah.
real life and be like, oh shit, I'm not waking up in a bed. I'm fucking still going.
I mean, I think like pills seem like the obvious. That's got to be like the most cowardly way. Just take a bunch of sleeping pills or something. Because that's the other way. See, this just shows you I'm not that depressed because like it feels like a lot of time people survive the pill. Like,
Yeah.
somebody finds you, they pump your stomach. Like there's coming back. Like if you jump off the Empire State Building, like you're not.
No, they're not putting that back together.
People jump off those cruise ships sometimes. And
What?
Yeah.
For suicide?
Yeah. Happens all the time.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst because think about it. Like a lot of time you survive the fall.
Yeah.
And now you're just out in the ocean
watching the boat
slowly
leave.
drowning or getting eaten by sharks. Or it's like nobody likes to die like that. In fact, there's some you've probably seen it or heard of those movies where they're like just
open water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Terrifying.
Like a sequel to it. Yeah. That's it. That's your life. I mean, because they're not gonna find you.
Yeah, there's no way. Oh God. But you know what's sad is like when I would work the cruise ships, I'd look, at least once a day. You run through that in your mind. You're just like, what would happen?
It's impossible not to think about it, and also the whole time you're thinking like, it just seems crazy that this railing is only right up to here.
Yeah.
Like anyone could run up behind me and
scare me.
Yeah, scare me or just do it. Just shove me over and be like, oh man, he jumped. Some serial killer. By the way, if you're a serial killer, totally that's what you should do. Just go on a cruise ship. You could knock off like 10 people before they caught you.
Yeah.
Because there's cameras, but you just cover your, you go out at night, cover your
Put
face.
on a hoodie.
Yeah.
Oof. God, how awful would that be if that like happened and we're like, Andrew, we just talked about that. A week after it dropped, someone did it.
We'd have to scrub the episode. Luckily,
where's Kyle? Where's Kyle? Somebody check Kyle's house.
Luckily, we could probably pin it down the murderer very quickly. The FBI would not have a hard time triangulating through our Rolodexes of listeners. All right, man. Should we get to it, or do you have any more pre-show
let's get to it.
Topics?
Nope.
Okay, you going first?
Murder, suicide. Yeah, we talked about that. Okay, what now? I'll go.
Wait,
first.
I had a quick thing on rainbows. I guess we don't have time.
And how pretty they are. Yeah, we're kind of running short.
Well, we'll do that next week. Ran long on murder, suicide.
Okay, only because before we started, you mentioned your topic, and it seems a little juicier than mine. So I think raking is the worst. The worst chore. I would rather push a mower, mow a lawn that doesn't even have drive on the wheels, and shovel with a thin, small shovel driveway than rake. Can I get some backup? And I did rake. I raked today. What?
Very good job hitting the K and raking.
It's my comedy K's.
It sounded at first. I was like, did he say? I think raping is the worst
of all chores.
All the chores.
Of all the things on my to-do list, that one.
Okay, yeah. Raking's bad. First of all, why do you think you hate? I have my
because
opinion,
like
why do you think you hate raking so much?
I think this is what it is. There's a sense of accomplishment. Like when you're mowing, you can look at look at it. It's so pretty. It looks nice. You can see it as you mow. There's a line. When you're shoveling, you can see your progress. With raking, it's like, I have to, each time I do it, it's maybe I got 10% of it. Right. So you're just dragging this fucking thing as you're getting blisters. And then you still have to, you make a big pile. You got to move the whole pile across your whole yard. It's just terrible.
And it's like a good metaphor for life because like you can do it all you want, and then you go out the next day, and it's just completely like you didn't do anything. More leaves
Yes.
fell, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many leaves fall, more are coming.
That's
Like
right.
every time you think like certainly this tree cannot
It's
have
done.
one
Yeah.
leaf on it, it's still got. Trust me, it's got a lot more where that came from. So yeah, that to me is the most deflating thing about raking. But so you're not like you strike me as like a giant leaf blower guy, like the pack on the back.
That's what I
Double
should do.
barrel.
I do have a blower, but yeah, why didn't I? I should have done that. Jeez, I didn't
Well,
even
you're
think. Well,
probably being
it's
courteous to your neighbors because people hate those things.
why? Because they're
They're
loud.
so loud. They are
Oh yeah,
so loud.
yeah, that's true.
They
It
are
is loud.
the
That I don't
loudest.
care.
Remember in LA, like they would use them. They would have like 4 blades of grass cut, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden they'd pull out like 9 leaf blowers, and it was just at 6 in the morning, it's like everywhere.
Yeah, but that was like, yeah, because it was 6 in the morning. Like it would, like they would do it at any time. Like, nah, this is workday has started. It's after 7 a.m. Like, come on.
They make electric ones now that aren't as loud, but like those gas ones with the backpack on, and they look like they're like
Yeah.
have a jetpack on or something.
I never like, because I would have to rake growing up, but then like once I became a homeowner the first time, I was just like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I will mow. I'll just mulch it over and over and over until it's in a dust. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bag it. I'm not gonna.
I did
Ugh.
last winter. I was like on the road or something, and a bunch of leaves fell, and I was like, whatever, I'll do it all at once. And then we have a leaf day. I've probably talked about this, but in Portland we have like a leaf day where they come and they just bring like a big truck on the
Oh
street.
yeah, and you just rake it into the street.
I just rake them all, but there's only 2 of those, so I kind of just want to rake twice all winter.
There's only 2 what of those days.
2 of those days for my neighborhood, so I'm like, I'll just do that twice, right? But like that's a mistake because then your grass, it just killed my grass last.
Why? Because they're just sitting under
Because
leaves
I left
until
leaves
that day.
covering the grass all winter, and basically there wasn't getting any sun.
Wait, so it snowed. Wait, so it snowed?
No, no.
Oh, just all through winter,
Leaves,
just had these
full,
leaves.
just like complete layers of leaves.
Right. Oh, I
laying on
gotcha.
the grass, and so it
Yeah.
killed the grass. So I'm gonna do a little. It's funny you say that because I was like, man, I should probably rake before we're gonna leave here tomorrow.
You know what's funny
no.
is that reminds me, you like with the leaves, because like previous years, I just didn't bother raking because I'm like, screw it, and then it gets and then it snows on the leaves,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, look, it's pretty, it's a white Christmas, and then you go to make a snowman with your kids, and it's the dirtiest, grossest. It's just like, oh, it's just a shit, leafy, dark, dirty.
Do you remember like in grade school? Maybe your kids have done this, but like you would bring in a leaf, and then you'd put like it between wax paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
You'd make like a thing.
Yeah.
Like, here's this leaf. What a stupid, like as if it's some rare thing. Horrible leaves are everywhere. And then we're just gonna take one of them. Look, and I saved it.
Yeah, but I
Don't
mean, when you're
save
that
'em.
kid, when you're that age, everything they do is stupid. You trace your hand to make a turkey. That's stupid too.
That's actually great. That's a great way to draw a turkey. Name me a better
Oh.
way to draw a turkey. Name one. Name one better way to draw a turkey than tracing your hand.
I mean, okay, freestyle.
Okay, one way. That might be the one way to, but fine.
Are you saying like name another thing to trace? Yes, when it comes under the parameters of you have to trace something. Sure. Unless you have a weird shaped dick.
Wait a minute. You can't do
Wait.
that. You won't last long as a substitute teacher with that.
All right, kids, pull out your wieners. We're gonna draw snakes today. Pull out your wieners. All right, so
I'm
should we do
backing you
yours?
up.
You backed me up.
Raking is the worst.
Is there a worse one? Like, can you think of
For-
something?
I mean, I will say it's the one. It's one of the chores. Heidi does a lot of the chores, but it's one of the chores she claims to like. She's like, "Oh, I want to get out there and rake," But it's
That's
always like
lunacy.
a small little part, and then it's like, "Oh, look, I do this." But it's the equal partnership.
It's a small little corner. It gets like 4
She
leaves.
gets bored after like 10 minutes. And acts like she raked. Hold on, but it's 50-50.
But she has fun doing it.
Yeah, no, raking's the worst. I'm trying to think if there's any.
I mean, what else is there? Raking, mowing, shoveling.
Mowing's fun.
Mowing's great. I hated it growing up. Now it's like, oh,
weeding's the worst.
weeding is awful.
Weeding's worse than raking. Weeding is a nightmare because it's the same thing. It's endless. You just have to tell yourself to stop after a while because you could just keep going forever.
Forever, yeah.
And then
true.
also, it's right back the way it was, 2 days later. So it is. Weeding is a nightmare, and and they're all different, and they don't always pull. Like weeding's kind of fun if it's like that type where it just pulls up super easy, and it's very satisfying. Like the roots come with it all the time, But when they're really like dug in, and you have to like work hard to get get out of here with that.
Yeah. We have the kind that are like spiky, and so you got to wear gloves and you pull them up, and then it like spreads. It like spreads. And then we find out someone told us like, oh, you don't want to, when you pull those, it shoots out like under the ground. It shoots out these seeds. And that's so you can't pull them out. It's just like, well,
so what do you do?
I don't know. You got to poison them or something.
Oh, you use that. No, you guys would never use
you have to use the organic,
right,
safe poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The safe poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll do it.
It's good for plants.
Yeah.
It's made from plants.
If you're like a hippie that wants to kill themselves, you have to use the safe poison.
That's right. That's right.
This is the other kind of give you cancer. You don't want to kill yourself with that.
We put in a because like my biggest, you're right. Weeding is the worst. I hate it. You put down mulch in your landscaping part when you're planting shit, and it's a nightmare. We've had to re-mulch over. I guess you have to buy mulch every year or something. It's a nightmare. So and that fabric that goes under it.
Yeah.
It's like if it doesn't work, then it's terrible. So we put in this fire pit, and I was like, okay, I'm not dealing with pulling weeds. Because we did like stone, gravel, whatever.
Yeah.
For pea stones or something. And I put that material down, stapled it down, put it down with stakes, and then we dumped the gravel on it. And already there's little sprouts, and I'm just like, we're moving, and I'm not, because I don't know what you do. There is no solution.
Dude, that's my nightmare because that's what we had. That's why I dug up the quarter of my yard and put a bunch of pea gravel down and the paper and all that stuff because I was like, I can't pull these weeds they're horrible in that corner. And then the first one I see, I'm getting a flamethrower or something. I don't know what. But
scorched earth.
Yeah. Because they just swear to you cannot use that Roundup stuff. But I'm like,
oh,
I see why it's like Roundup. What's it most famous for? For sure, giving people cancer. That's the first thing you think of when you hear Roundup. You think cancer, right?
Okay, I guess I didn't know that.
Oh well, Aaron would know. Bring
yes,
Aaron, please. No, but like they settled many cases, I think, of giving people cancer with Roundup. Okay.
Yes.
And people, and then you go to Home Depot, it's still all over the shelves, just like your
Q-tips.
Q-tips. It's just all over the shelves, and people are buying it, and that's why, because people go, I would rather just get the cancer and
then
just
deal with these fucking
spray these weeds than deal with pulling these weeds the old-fashioned way every time.
Yeah.
That's how convenient it is.
Yeah.
So, Roundup.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to come to that. If they start coming through like hardcore and it just starts looking like a trashy old
Well,
shitty fire pit,
okay,
then I might just have to do that without her knowledge.
the hippies in my neighborhood have told me that apple cider vinegar will kill them. Safe poison. Good
What?
luck.
Yeah.
I've never
No.
actually tried
No,
it.
I know, but you don't have to. It's bullshit. That's like why would there be
Yeah.
Roundup if that worked? Why would Roundup even be a thing if this safe alternative worked at all? You know
Well,
what I mean?
you got me there.
Thank you. All right. Now we're cooking.
All right. Yeah, but I'll back you up raking, but then weeding. Is
Yeah,
right up
all
there.
right.
Okay. Oh, so what do I need backup on? You're supposed to ask me.
Yes. Let's hear your wonderful topic I already got a sneak peek
Oh
of.
no. All right. Well, you and I both know too well about these, and probably people listening to this show because maybe you're a fan of stand up in some capacity.
Yeah.
Your Instagram feed now is just inundated with comedians posting short clips of themselves on stage, either doing crowd work or an old bit or something, and with the captions on the video.
Yes.
So that's become so prevalent, and I think like certain comedians have found like a lot of success with it, that it's like taking over. I mean, like honestly, like when I open up Instagram, I gotta it's either an ad, someone I don't follow, or a stand up video. Like I don't even see friends from college or high school. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, they should bring back high school reunions now because like now I literally do not know what people are up to.
Okay.
And so I've talked with some comics and seen this debate sort of online, but the argument is that because of that, and especially with like the heckler videos or the sort of crowd work videos, that it's ruining stand-up comedy. So like people now either they're doing their show a certain way to create more
Oh.
Instagram content, or crowds are becoming trained to come to shows and expect to either interact with the comedian or whatever.
Right. Because that's what they think it is. That's all
Yeah,
they see online.
exactly. So
Okay. So what's your stance?
what I need backup on is that that's ridiculous. Stand up, like you think about how, okay, so like think of all the times stand up has been very, very popular, right? Like in the 80s,
Yep.
brief period in the 90s, and then like maybe like early 2000s. Then I guess they say like when Last Comic Standing came around, they had another little bit of a uptick, and then people claim like recently, but I don't know if I've seen that. But
Not in my career, anyway.
somehow that boom missed my career. But it always involved bringing very average to bad stand up to the masses, right? Like go back and watch those like evening
these upticks you're saying, like
yeah. It
Yeah.
required like it wasn't like the coolest shit was like breaking through. It was like corny cheeseball stuff that was like becoming super mainstream. So like acting like, oh no, crowd work videos and people are gonna think that's whatever gets people out to shows is fine.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good, you know.
Yeah.
Stand up, like people complain about Last Comic Standing being like stupid or cheesy because they make them do like they made it look like it was actually people just their first time and they were
Right,
amateurs,
right.
or they waited in line all day, or they were school
Yeah.
teachers that just tried it or whatever, which was, and everyone was mad about that. It was great when Last Comic Standing was popular because like people would just come out to comedy clubs. The open mics were packed and like shows were fun, and so I don't think it matters once you get the people in the room. The biggest challenge is like not having people in shows. That's always the worst thing.
Yes.
Then we can worry about what their expectations are once they're there.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with that. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, whatever would ruin, like if you're going to say something's ruining comedy, it would have to be pulling people out of clubs and making it so people don't want to go to the comedy clubs.
Right.
What's
And
happening
also,
is like, oh, they have this misguided idea of what to expect. Well, okay, show them something else. Don't give them what they're expecting, or
yeah. And also, like, crowds are like, they don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? They're there. People only go to comedy, like, the average person, what, couple times in their lives, probably, you know?
Yeah, it is amazing how often you hear people be like, "This is my first time at a comedy
Yeah.
club." It's like, wow,
You hear that all the time. But then you think about it, like, how many jazz clubs have you been to? You know, like, how many, like, plays have you been to?
yeah,
I've been to 2 musicals in my life. They were both in London. So, like, it makes sense, you know?
yeah,
But people don't know what to expect. So you go in there and you do a show and you make them, you know what I mean? You're the person who goes on stage and you control what they expect, you know?
yeah,
It's like you deliver, I don't know. You set the expectations. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
yeah.
I
No,
just think
I
it's
agree.
it's the kind of thing that I would do maybe 5 or 10 years ago when something seemed like if there was something that came along that seemed like a fad and it seemed like it was working out for some people, but I didn't want to put in the effort to do it, I would start talking about how it's bad for comedy.
Right, right, right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's ruining stand up.
Yeah,
Anything that was successful for somebody else,
those
that's
comics
ruining.
that are getting notoriety out of that's fake. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's cheating. Yeah.
So
I will
that's
say this. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I'm backing that up. But I will say, you know, we've all seen these comics where it's like, was that really worthy
no.
of a clip? It's just like, well, hey, not everyone sneezes at every show. And it's like, well, that's not.
Well, that is where it gets. I like seeing the ones where it's almost clearly you can see the wheels turning in the comic's head at the time, like, oh, this is gonna be on Instagram, and it's almost like they're pulling out more than you would if you didn't know you're being filmed. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
I think it would be funny if a comic like went sort of meta with that and just started like in the show something happens and you're dealing with it in like a normal crowd work way, but then like found their camera and just went like direct to camera and like broke the fourth wall and like, I know you guys watching this on Instagram right now are thinking, what is he gonna say next? You know,
Ah!
if
Oh my
sound
god!
off in the comments if you want
should
me to
do
rip this guy to shreds or be nice to him.
that. Sound off below, folks. Everyone in the audience is like, "What? Huh?"
If you're enjoying the way I'm ripping this heckler a new one, let me know in the comments.
Smash that like button.
But then like you would do that as a goof and it's almost like I could see that being the evolution where people are literally doing that because
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
important to speak to the
The
internet
giant
following
masses online than
than
the
the
60
50
people in the
yeah.
room. That would be funny. They just never go back to the crowd. They're just like, so anyway, also, don't forget to check out my channel where I help you grease doors on a squeaky door.
And you're like advertising other gigs. I'm gonna be in Kenosha next week, so make sure to buy tickets for that. And the crowd's like, we're right here at your show.
Yeah, what shows are you going to advertise for while you're in Kenosha? Yeah,
That was a good Wisconsin poll by me.
it was.
Yeah, Kenosha's a real place.
It sure is.
Yeah. So
That had some, it was in the limelight not too long ago.
wait, was there something horrible happened?
Isn't
there?
that where Kyle Rittenhouse, like,
That's how I know in Kenosha. Dude, yeah.
you're like, oh, that's what a
Well,
deep pull.
It had been a while since we had brought up murder, so I wanted
Right,
to make sure
right.
got back to
Yeah, I
that.
gotta get that back.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Not murder. He was found not guilty.
Oh, that's right. Patriot.
Anyway,
Whew.
that's it. Right? Oh,
Yeah, that's a good app. That's a good app.
Good
Oh,
app.
we got some backup. Good shit.
Hey.
Hey,
like and
listener.
subscribe
Yeah,
or whatever.
you're a listener.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We're about to do post-show banner, so if you want to hear that, you got to get on the Patreon. Johnny, do you have anything you would like to tell the people? Are you in Kenosha? Is Kenosha on the calendar?
I'm in Kenosha.
Are you doing the Rittenhouse tour?
The Rittenhouse tour. No, I'll be in Wyndham.
Wait. The Rittenhouse of Laughs?
Huh?
The Kyle Rittenhouse of Comedy this weekend.
Yeah. I wonder if he could he do like, do you think he would, if he went on the circus just like as a Steve-O type?
Oh, you know what?
Novelty act?
I'm surprised he hasn't already thought of it. That's
Oh.
the perfect place for him. He would sell at comedy clubs. That's like the right exact size of place he'd probably sell out. I think he's trying to go big. I think he's like trying to go into politics or something. But I would, if I were him, I would stick to the clubs. Okay, buddy.
Yeah. No, you're
Work
lame,
your way
Kyle.
up. No, earn your stripes.
Yeah. Yeah, Dennis Miller didn't go straight into politics.
No.
Al Franken didn't go straight. You gotta grind it out.
I gotta send you something. Do you know who J.P. Sears is?
Yeah.
He's got a trailer for his new special. Oh my god, it is amazing.
You gotta send it to me.
Yeah. We can talk about it in the post show banner, but it is
Sweet.
hilarious. Okay.
All right, do you got anything you gotta
looking
plug?
up dates?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say November, or is that November? Yeah, November 11, 12, Wyndham, Minnesota. It's some sort of pub. It's a PP. We talked about this before.
A PP pub.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. What do you got?
November 3rd, Chicago, Lincoln Lodge.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. That's when Aaron's in New Orleans, so I won't be able to see you.
But no, we got to start moving. Got to start selling some tickets, folks. Okay. Tell your Chicago friends. All right. That's it. Thank you for listening to
The Cavalry.